Millions of drivers hand over hundreds, sometimes thousands, of dollars every year for shop repairs that a free reset would have fixed at home in under 15 minutes. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration reports that unnecessary and repeat repairs cost American car owners more than $4 billion annually. Here are 11 free reset tricks your mechanic doesn't want you to know. Some take under 30 seconds. One of them will protect you from a $1,300 repair quote you may never need. Secret number 11 starts right now. Number 11. The Infotainment Soft Reset. Your touchscreen freezes mid-drive. Your Bluetooth drops every time you start the car. Your backup camera shows a black screen for the first 20 seconds. Most people assume the head unit is failing and start pricing out replacements, which run $400 to over $1,200 installed. But here's what they don't tell you. Your infotainment system is a computer, and computers need to be restarted sometimes. The soft reset is usually a small recessed pinhole on the face of the unit, often labeled reset. On many GM and Ford models, it's a combination. Hold the power button and the volume knob together for 10 full seconds. Toyota and Lexus owners, check your owner's manual because the combo varies by year. Hold for 10 seconds, the screen goes dark, then reboots in about 45 seconds. Your Bluetooth pairs on the first try, your backup camera loads clean, and your screen responds instantly, for $0. This next one is something millions of drivers pay $40 to fix at the shop, when you can handle it yourself in about 20 seconds. Number 10. The Oil Life Monitor Reset. That orange wrench icon or Oil Life 15A message is still staring at you, even after you've already had the oil changed. Most people drive back to the shop assuming somebody forgot. Some shops charge $30 to $40 just to clear it. The reset is built into every modern car. On most GM vehicles, turn the ignition to on without starting the engine, then press the gas pedal fully to the floor 3 times within 5 seconds. Ford owners, go to Settings in your instrument cluster, find Oil Life Reset, and hold the OK button for 3 seconds. Honda and Acura drivers, scroll to Oil Life on the info display with the ignition on and hold the reset knob for 10 seconds until it reads 100T. This takes 20 seconds, and shops charge you $40 for it. Once you know this one, you never pay for it again. But this next one is arguably more frustrating. You've already filled your tires perfectly, and that warning light is still glowing. Number 9. The TPMS Relearn. You've filled every tire to exactly 35 psi at the gas station, and that tire pressure light is still glowing yellow on your dash. You drive around for 20 minutes hoping it resets on its own. It doesn't. Most people assume a sensor has failed, and those sensors run $50 to $100 each to replace. Here's what most drivers never catch. The TPMS system doesn't just measure pressure. It tracks which specific sensor is in which wheel position. After a tire rotation or a battery event, it loses that mapping and needs to relearn it. On most vehicles, there's a TPMS reset button under the steering column or in the glove box area, a small button labeled TPMS in small text. Hold it with the ignition on until the tire pressure light blinks 3 times, about 3 seconds. Then drive at 50 miles per hour faster for 10 minutes. The light goes out. This feature exists because the system has to map sensor positions, not just pressure. Once it relearns, you're done. No parts, no labor, no bill. This next one catches thousands of drivers off guard right after a battery replacement, and it affects a feature you use every single day. Number 8. The Power Window Auto-Up Reset. You put in a new battery, and suddenly your driver's window won't roll up automatically anymore. You have to hold the button the whole way. Most people assume the window motor is failing and start looking at $150 to $400 in shop repairs. Here's what they don't tell you. The window control module loses its calibration every single time power is cut. It needs to relearn the window's full travel range from scratch. The whole process takes 15 seconds. Roll the window all the way down. Then press and hold the up button until the window is completely closed, and keep holding it for 2 full seconds after it closes. Then briefly press the up button one more time. On most GM, Ford and Toyota models from 2008 onward, the one-touch function comes right back. 0 parts, 0 labor, $0. Now for a trick that clears warning lights without any scanner or tools at all. Number 7. The Key Dance Ignition Cycle Method. Your check engine light is still on after a problem has been fixed. The car got looked at, the issue was resolved, but that light keeps burning. Mechanics charge $80 to $120 just to plug in a scanner and clear it. Most people think you need a scanner for this, but many vehicles have a built-in code cycling method using nothing but your ignition key. Turn the key to the on position, not start, just on, then back to off. Repeat that 3 times in a row, finishing on on. On many Ford and Chrysler vehicles from 2005 onward, this initiates a sequence that clears non-active, stale stored codes after your next completed drive cycle. The exact number of cycles varies by model. Some need 3, some need 5. Check your owner's manual for your specific year and make you just saved $80 to $120 with your ignition key and 30 seconds of your time. This next one is where mechanics really start hating this list. They charge up to $250 for something you can do in 5 minutes at home. Number 6, the Throttle Body Relearn. Your car idles rough every cold morning, hesitates from a stop, or occasionally stalls at a red light. A shop will tell you the throttle body needs cleaning or replacing and quote you $150 to $250. Sometimes that's the right call. But try this reset first before you spend anything. With the engine fully warmed up from at least 10 minutes of driving, turn it off. Turn the ignition back to on without starting and wait 3 seconds. Press the gas pedal fully to the floor and release it 5 times within 5 seconds. Then hold the pedal flat to the floor for 10 full seconds. Release, wait 2 seconds, and start the engine normally. The throttle body recalibrates its baseline idle position from scratch. Most drivers report the rough idle and hesitation clearing up within the first minute of driving, and here's what makes this even better. If the problem comes back within a week, you now know there's a real mechanical issue underneath, not just calibration drift. This reset doubles as a free diagnostic tool. This next one targets a warning light that confuses almost every driver who sees it, and most shops use it to justify expensive diagnostic charges. Number 5, the steering angle sensor reset. The traction control or stability control warning comes on after a tire rotation, an alignment, or a battery replacement. The car drives perfectly fine, no pulling, no vibration, but that light won't go away. Some shops quote $300 to $800 to investigate the stability control module. Here's what they don't tell you. The steering angle sensor, which sits inside the steering column and tracks where your front wheels are pointed, loses its 0-point calibration after any suspension or power event. Most modern cars have a built-in reset for it. In an empty parking lot with the engine running, turn the wheel all the way to the full left lock, hold it there for 3 seconds. Then turn all the way to the full right lock, hold for 3 seconds, return the wheel to dead center. On most Toyota, Honda, and Nissan vehicles from 2010 onward, the warning light clears within 1 normal drive cycle. This feature exists because the system needs a fresh reference point for straight ahead after anything disturbs the steering or suspension geometry. Number 4, the climate control recalibration. Your heater blows cold air on the driver's side but warm on the passenger's side. You set the AC to 68 degrees and it feels like 75%. On dual-zone climate systems, which most cars made after 2010 have, the blend door actuators can drift out of calibration over time, especially after a battery replacement. Most people assume an actuator motor has failed, and those repairs run $200 to $400 per door depending on the vehicle. But there's a recalibration sequence built right into the climate control module. Turn the ignition to on. Hold the temperature control buttons, both the up arrow and the down arrow simultaneously, for 10 full seconds. On some GM vehicles, it's the defrost button and the AC button held together. The vents will cycle open and closed, the fans will run through their full speed range, and the system will reset all of its actuator positions. The whole sequence takes about 45 seconds. Both sides of the cabin blow the right temperature again, and your climate control works the way it was engineered to. This next one targets a problem that scares most drivers because it always happens at the worst possible moment. Number 3, the idle air control reset. You pull up to a stop sign on a cold morning, and the engine stumbles, surges, and nearly stalls out. You tap the gas to keep it alive. This has been happening for weeks, and you've been putting off the shop visit because you're worried about what they'll find. The idle air control system, which manages how much air the engine gets at idle, can drift out of calibration, especially on vehicles with more than 80,000 miles on them. Shops often recommend cleaning or replacing the IAC valve for $150 to $300. Try the reset first, with the engine fully cold, meaning it's been sitting overnight. Start it up and let it idle completely undisturbed for 10 full minutes. Don't touch the gas, don't switch on the AC, don't turn on the headlights. Let the engine control module relearn the minimum idle airflow on its own. Then drive normally for 5 to 10 miles to complete the adaptive learning cycle. On many vehicles, this alone resolves cold start stalling and rough idle without spending a single dollar. This next one is where the real money lives. A reset that has pulled drivers back from $3,500 repair quotes they never needed. Number 2, the transmission adaptive reset. That hard, clunky shift from first to second gear, a transmission that slams into gear when you're barely moving. Most shops will hook up a diagnostic computer, tell you the transmission is slipping, and hand you a quote for $2,500 to $3,500 for a rebuild or replacement. Here's what they don't tell you. Every modern automatic transmission has an adaptive shift module that learns your driving habits over time. If that learned data gets corrupted, after a battery change, a software update, or normal wear, the transmission shifts roughly until it relearns. According to independent mechanic forums, you can force that relearn for free. Disconnect the negative battery terminal. Wait 15 full minutes, not 2, not 5, 15. Reconnect the terminal and start the car. For the next 15 to 20 miles, drive gently. Accelerate smoothly, keep your speed under 45 miles per hour, and let the car shift on its own without hard throttle inputs. During this window, the transmission module writes a clean set of shift parameters. If the shifts smooth out, you just saved yourself thousands of dollars. If they don't, you now have real evidence of a mechanical problem. And that's still worth knowing before you hand over $3,500. What's coming up next is the reset that fixes more car problems than almost anything else. And the one mechanics would rather you never learned. Number 1, the full ECU battery reset. The single most powerful diagnostic and repair tool on your car is sitting right there in the engine bay, and it costs nothing to use. The ECU, or engine control unit, is the brain of your car. It controls fuel delivery, ignition timing, emissions, transmission behavior, idle speed, and dozens of other functions. Over time, it stores adaptive data, fault codes, and learned parameters, and some of that stored data causes real problems: rough idle, poor fuel economy, hard starts, and false warning lights. Mechanics charge $95 to $150 an hour to diagnose these issues, and the first thing a good technician often does privately is exactly what you're about to do yourself. Open the hood and find the negative terminal on your battery, the black cable marked with a minus sign. Using a 10mm wrench, loosen the clamp and slide the cable off the terminal. Do not let it touch the battery post. Now take the loose negative cable and touch it to the positive cable, not to the battery, just to each other. Hold them together for 30 seconds. This drains the residual charge from the capacitors inside the ECU and forces a complete memory wipe. Now wait. Set a timer for 15 full minutes. While you wait, the ECU's volatile memory clears completely. Reconnect the negative cable, tighten the clamp, and start the car. It may idle rough or hunt for the first 60 seconds. That's normal. The ECU is relearning baseline parameters in real time. Drive normally for 50 to 100 miles over the next few days so the adaptive maps rewrite fresh. Most people think the ECU is a sealed, untouchable black box. It's actually a resettable computer, and this feature exists because the engineers who designed it knew it would occasionally need a full memory wipe. According to independent automotive studies, a significant share of repeat shop visits involve no new mechanical failure at all, just stale sensor data and corrupted adaptive memory. This one reset clears all of it, of everything covered here. The full ECU battery reset in secret number 1 is where to start. 15 minutes, $0, and the highest chance of fixing whatever your car's been doing. Which of these did you already know? Drop the number below. I want to know how many are already in your toolkit. Hit subscribe if you want more money-saving tips most drivers never hear about. We put these out every week, and the next one is going to catch you off guard.